Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Most. Today I'm going to show you how you can use the radio buttons in Ionic. And as you can see, when you choose an item here from this radio buttons, it's going to take that value and display it in a pop-up window. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. So let's get started. So first of all, in my project here, I have the home.page.html. Inside it, I'm going to create that radio button or a group of buttons actually. But before that, we need Ion list because it's a list. And inside it, we can use the Ion radio group. So the tag is called Ion radio group. And inside it, inside that group, first of all, we want to display the header. Therefore, I'm going to use the Ion list header. And inside that header, we want the Ion label. And this Ion label will let us display this part, this word, fruits. Therefore, I'm going to type here fruits or whatever word you want. And then what we need is that the button. We need to display all of the buttons. The first one, apple, orange, banana. And in order to do that, we need first an Ion item. And inside that item, we need two things. The Ion label, and the Ion radio button. So here, Ion radio. And in the label, we want to display the value. The value is going to be apple for the first button. And in the Ion radio, what we want to do is that we want to take that value, which is apple, if the user selects it. Therefore, we can use the value attribute and pass the value that we want. So the difference between the value, this value, and the Ion label is that the Ion label is the value that's going to be displayed to the user, whereas the value here is the value that's going to be taken to our program, that's going to be stored in a variable if the user clicks on apple. So now that we have the first item, let's create two other items. Therefore, I'm going to copy this code and paste it twice. And here we need orange. And instead of this apple, we need also orange. And finally, we need banana. And here, banana. And now what we need to do is that we need to add an event listener. Because if the user clicks on any of them, we want to listen for that click. And we want to take that value. And that can be accomplished by adding here event listener to the Ion radio group. This should be Ion radio group. And here, Ion change with a capital C. And then it's going to be equal to the function that's going to be called. Let's name it change. And we also need to take that value. And to take that value, we simply use the ng model. And I'd highly recommend watching other tutorials in my channel where I talked a lot about how to use the ng model and what it means exactly. In simple words, it's just the middleman between the TS file and the HTML file. So the value here in the HTML will be taken to the TS file to use it. So here I'm going to pass a variable called selected fruit. And in the home.page.ts, I'm going to create this variable and the function. So I'm going to head on over to the home.ts. And in the home.ts here, first we need to create a variable called selected fruit in order to take that selected fruit from the HTML and store it in this variable. Let's here store a default value apple, and it should be public. And then if the user clicks on, chooses any of the values, what we want to do is that we want to call this function. And they have created this function earlier. And I have a tutorial on this function, the previous tutorial. If you don't understand the meaning of async and await, you need to watch that tutorial. And here what I'm going to do is that I'm going to just display a pop-up window, and I'm going to display that selected fruit. I'm going to display the selected fruit in that pop-up window. So let's now save and use the terminal to run our application. So in the terminal, I'm going to type Ionic serve, and then I'm going to hit enter. And now, as you can see, let me now select orange. As you can see, it's going to say here fruit orange. If I select banana, it's going to say here fruit banana. If I select apple, it's going to say fruit apple. So this is an awesome application. And by the way, you might need to add this in your application. That's it for this tutorial. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. And by the way, I have created a complete course on how to create a complete Instagram-like application using Ionic framework. So this is Most. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.